Sunday. Rich too. Impressive. Pros.
All right, we'll go ahead and have Rocky Moscow lead it off.
Brandon, what did you see a little different from John Means maybe today than his first outing?
I thought John had good stuff. He couldn't, tough time finishing guys today. Just maybe a little tick off. I think the positive is he got out there for the third time, got 3 ups, got his pitch count up to 45-ish. So he's on track there. But I just thought he needs to throw his breaking balls a little bit more. He flashed some good changeups, a couple bad ones. But the fastball looked good, and he got up 3 times. So it's a positive from that standpoint.
John Mioli, go ahead. John Mioli, go ahead. You're up.
He's local too.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. All right, we can go back to John. We'll go to Joe Trezza.
Brandon, do you guys have a starter for Tuesday yet?
I'm gonna ask Jackie. Hold on. Who is it? Kramer.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Rich Dubroff.
Hey, what did you make of Dylan Tate's outing today?
Well, obviously he had some struggles. Faced a lot of left-handers. Just thought the 2-seamer was kind of leaking in the middle. Not great command today. D. Tate's been throwing the ball well too. I just thought it was an off day for him. Kind of struggled through that inning. But yeah, I think that he punched the guy on a good changeup, and then the changeup was inconsistent after that. The fastball command wasn't his best. So no, not his best outing today.
Back to John Mioli's question. Are these games useful to evaluate pitchers when they have to get so many extra outs?
Yeah, we got to start playing better defense. It's our work in the backfields in the mornings are great. I think it's been fantastic, actually, as good as I've seen it from the standpoint of the work that we're getting in. We're just not translating into the games. We need to play better defense overall and help our pitchers out a little bit more. On the mound, we got to start throwing more strikes and start getting some earlier contact with not having the long innings. So it's a little bit of a combination of we got to get better throwing strikes, and we got to catch the ball better.
Melanie Newman, go ahead.
Brandon, when the outside world wants to say it's just spring training games, it doesn't really matter. And some of the young guys are feeling the pressure and seeing that at the same time. Just how do you balance that with the fact that even with a game like today, there's still critical things that you're taking away from it? I guess just with such a young crew.
Yeah, it's a spring training game, and a lot of guys there, especially the second half of the game, are guys that don't have a ton of experience and feeling their way through a little bit. But we didn't play well today, and that's disappointing. And I'd like to see us play cleaner baseball, both defensively, have a little bit better at bats, offensively. They had some good arms throwing today, but I thought down the order we need to start taking some better at bats. Like to see the guys that we expect to break with us pound the zone. I thought some guys threw the ball well today. I thought Army threw the ball really well. I thought Travis Lakins threw the ball well. I thought Handhold there at the end showed really good stuff. Offensively, I thought Mullins continues to swing the bat great, squaring up 3 baseballs. So I'm taking that as a positive. But yeah, we have a long way to go. It is a spring training game, but we need to start playing better.
Joe Trezza with a follow-up question.
Brandon, were you at the B game this morning? And if you were, did you have any takeaways from that?
I was at the B game this morning, yes. I thought we swung the bat good in that B game. A bunch of guys hit the ball hard. Thought it was 5 good innings. Guys got a bunch of at-bats, and it was good to see the young guys play.
All right, looks like that's all the questions we have, so that wraps it up for today. Thank you, Brandon.
And counts, and just wasn't putting people away. away. I was just taking some long at bats and getting just 2 strikes, but not getting back, not putting them away. So that's really it.
John Mioli, go ahead.
Who knows if you guys will be able to hear me with this music. John, last spring you didn't really pitch in games as often as you did on the backfields or sim game stuff like that. Do you feel like you can gain what you need pitching in games this spring?
Sorry, can you repeat? It's hard to hear.
Yeah, it's a little loud. Do you feel like you're getting a lot out of pitching in games this spring versus pitching on the backfield, sim games, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I like pitching in games. And spring training is obviously a lot different than in season, but I like that adrenaline before the game. I like the routine aspect of it, of going out there like a real game, and it doesn't really matter to me a whole lot whether it's backfield or in games. In spring training, it's all about getting your work in and getting to the season healthy.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Hey, John, how did your changeup feel today? It seemed, at least from where we were sitting, that you threw it quite a bit.
Yeah, just trying to work on it a little bit. I got some swings and misses, but also left some up. Yeah, just trying to get that down, but I think it'll be there. It's just not pairing it well.
Follow up from Joe. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, John, just to follow up, overall, are you where you wanted to be at this point in spring, and how would you kind of evaluate your camp as a whole?
Yeah, I'm healthy. I feel like my pitches are breaking well. Just not, executing them as well as I'd like, especially with 2 strikes, and that's the name of the game. I mean, you can get 2 strikes all you want, but you got to get them out. So, I like where I'm at. I like where my pitches are. It's just executing, which is the last step.
Steve Molesky, go ahead.
John, you mentioned you got some swing and miss. It looked like on a couple different pitches. Does that give you some positive feedback, some things to build on?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, swings and misses are what you go for, and haven't got many with 2 strikes, obviously, or any at all. But yeah, I like where my pitches are at. I like how they're breaking, and it's just a matter of executing with 2 strikes.
All right, looks like that's all the questions we have. Thanks for joining us, John.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
All right, we can go ahead and get started. We'll have Steve Molesky lead it off.
Hey, Tony, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
The success you had in Cleveland, a couple titles managing in the minors, obviously a lot of success developing young players. What do you think is important to the Orioles as they try to do that? And how has it changed maybe in just a few years with all the technology we have now?
Yeah, I think it's really important. I think especially being here and kind of seeing, we have a pretty good mix of veterans and younger guys. You got, your guys like Freddie Galvis and Yolmer Sanchez, some guys that have kind of been there and done that and have a lot of success in the major leagues. And I think with those guys, we are helping them get prepared for a major league season as much as anything. Whereas you have some younger guys or maybe guys that, haven't played a position for a while, like Trey Mancini or still a little bit of an inexperienced third baseman, Rio Ruiz, Val Valleca, then some of our younger minor league prospects, guys that are, definitely still in that stage of their career where they're developing. I think having the experience in Cleveland of being around a lot of young infielders that became impact major league infielders and seeing kind of what their journey looked like in the stage of their development. I certainly think it gives us a little bit of an advantage in understanding what these guys are going through as they develop on their way to the major leagues.
Next, we have a question from Rich Dubroff. Rich, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, one of the guys who you're obviously seeing for the first time is Jordan Westberg, who's had no minor league experience at all because of last season. But he's gotten into several games. What are your impressions of him so far?
He's physical. It's a big kid. Him and Gunnar Henderson, both of them. They're younger guys. Gunner's a little younger than Westy, but they're just physical infielders. And as you watch them, I think when you see a bigger kid, you kind of, you dream on these kids and you want to compare them to the kid in LA, Seager. that type of a middle infielder body. And as you watch these guys right now, you see traits of that. I saw Seager when he was in low A with the Dodgers and Great Lakes for the whole year. And both these guys remind me of that a little bit. Westberg being a college signing, so it's a little bit different for him. But they're just big, physical middle infielders, and it's exciting. I think when they get big, you worry about, movement and agility and things like that, quickness in the infield, and they have it, So, the quickness, the agility, with the physical bodies and abilities to swing the bat, it's a really exciting couple players for us in our organization.
David Lorilla, go ahead.
Hey, Tony, you were just talking about young players in low A. You played with, when you were in rookie ball and A ball, you played with a teenager named Andrew McCutcheon.
Yep.
Well, what do you remember about Andrew outside of the fact that some players like that have more talent than anybody else on the field?
Yeah, I just remember getting there, getting drafted and getting there. And, as much as I think when you're a player and you're there to get to the big leagues, I remember seeing Kutch and kind of understanding it's a little bit different for guys like that. But I think what stood out most about him, he was just so mature beyond his years. He might have been 17 when he got there, 17 or 18. He was really young, but he was just so calm. He was cool. He was mature. You never would have thought that this was a kid that just came out of a small town in Florida, high school kid. I mean, he was so polished in so many ways. And I think as we've watched his career play out, and from afar and through the media, he's never kind of got himself in trouble with the media or anything that he said or anything that he's done off the field. He's been a complete professional across the board. And, I think getting that impression when he was 18 years old, I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, with the caveat that he obviously became a star, are there any players in the Orioles system that you could comp to him in any way?
I'm just learning the system right now. I've been here for whatever, it's been a month, I hope, and I think there's a lot of hope here that we have those types of guys coming in on the way. But we also have to understand that it is a process for some of these guys, and, a month in spring training or getting drafted in the last year or two and not playing any minor league games. It's hard to put that label on those types of guys when they haven't quite done it yet, but we certainly have excitement, that level of excitement for several of our guys.
Steve Molesky with the follow-up. Steve, go ahead.
Tony, as you know, the third base coach gets noticed most often when someone is out at the plate.
Yeah.
And maybe the fans miss the 10 straight great sends you made. But in terms of the aggressiveness level and coaching third, do you get any guidance or input for what Brandon wants, or is that all up to you because you've got to make the decision in the moment?
Yeah, I'm asking a lot of questions. Right now I'm trying to understand, how he wants the game to be run from that spot. And really I'm a extension of Hyder. I need to do my job the way he wants me to do my job. Now, I think what's good is him and I are very much on the same page, as we discuss the situations. I think we come from a very similar school of baseball, and how we think about the game. So we're in a good spot, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I want his guidance. I want to know what he's thinking, in terms of the situational part of coaching third. And so much of it is predicated on situations. Your tolerance for risk with 0 outs is a lot lower than what it is for 2 outs, obviously. So we need to kind of be on the same page and think, where are we willing to take a risk and where are we not? And at the end of the day, I think as long as we make our decisions, with all those factors in mind, and if they go south or they go bad, I think we can certainly live with that.
All right. Looks like that's all the questions we have. Thanks so much for joining us, Tony.
Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Have a good morning.
All right. We can go ahead and get started. We'll have Rich Dubroff lead it off.
Hey, Yusniel, how close to being a big leaguer do you feel like you are right now?
¿Qué tan cerca crees que estás de ser un jugador de grandes ligas?
Bueno, eso lo decide Dios y en realidad yo me siento bien cerca de estar ya en las grandes ligas, con el favor de Dios.
I'm going to leave that decision up to God, In reality, I really feel pretty close of being in the big league. So hopefully soon.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Yusniel, what was your off season like, and were you did you focus on anything different this winter than you usually do in the off season?
¿Cómo fue tu temporada muerta y si hiciste algo diferente en esta temporada muerta para prepararte para tu temporada?
Bueno, me preparé más en lo que es el corrido de base y también en el físico, porque en el bateo lo único que trabajé fue en tener más visión a la hora de darle a la pelota. Pero trabajé más en lo que es el corrido.
This off season, I concentrated myself on improving my running the bases skills. I was concentrated on that. I think I made strides on it. I also made improvements on my vision, trying to identify better the pitches, and on my body also.
Steve Molesky, go ahead.
Yusniel, what was the focus last year at the Bowie alternate site? How did you get better without having games to play in?
La temporada pasada en el campamento alterno, ¿cómo pudiste mejorar sin participar de juegos?
Bueno, mejoré, me enfoqué mucho en el bateo, en la defensa y también en el corrido de base. Mejoré demasiado en el campamento. Estaba preparado para que me subieran, pero como no fue así, no importa, yo seguí adelante.
I think at the alternate side, I took advantage of that opportunity and improved my hitting, my defense, and my base running also. I think it was a great opportunity for me to improve. I thought I made all the necessary adjustments to be called up. Unfortunately, it didn't happen, but I still wanted to take advantage of that camp and advantage of all the resources that were available for me to improve as a player overall.
Rich Dubroff, go ahead.
Hey, Yusniel, what do you want the team to notice most about you during spring training?
¿Qué tú quieres que el equipo aprecie de ti en estos campos de entrenamiento? ¿Qué tú quieres resaltar para ellos?
Yo quiero resaltar para ellos en realidad en todo, porque yo lo que quiero es tener la oportunidad para explotar mis herramientas en el terreno de juego.
I really would like to highlight all aspects of my game. I think I'm fortunate to have many different tools, and I want to showcase them every single day, and hopefully they can see that.
Joe Trezza, go ahead.
Yusniel, I just want to follow up on my first question. When you said you focused this winter on improving your vision, did you mean your plate discipline, or was it something with your eyesight that you were improving, like medically?
Cuando dice que mejoraste tu visión, ¿te refieres a mejorar tu disciplina en el plato o mejorar tu vista, alguna situación médica con tu vista?
No, situación médica ninguna. Yo no tengo ninguna situación médica. Es en el home play, a la hora de batear, a la hora de hacer el swing, conectar la bola también.
No medical issues for me, just to improve at home plate, identify pitches better, and hit the ball better.
And how do you do that in the off season with drills?
Durante la temporada muerta, ¿cómo te preparas para eso? ¿Con algunos ejercicios específicos?
Bueno, sí, no realmente. En realidad eso tiene que nacer de ti a la hora de hacer el swing y dejar la vista donde tú golpeas la bola.
As a player, you really have to commit to that plate discipline. So you have to be better, more patient, more selective, and just let the bat go to the ball.
All right, I believe that's all the questions we have. Thank you very much, Yusniel, for joining us, and a big thank you as well to Ramon for translating.
Thank you,
Okay, thank you.
guys.